Sony camera basic operation, no Sony lenses. Sony E-mount lenses are rich in variety: long, medium long, wide, and ultra-wide angle, zoom lenses, prime lenses. We can learn some information from the lens name. The lens name is basically composed of these parts: the supported sensor size, aperture, focal length, lens brand, and optical stabilization. Other lens models start with SEL, followed by focal length, aperture, and lens brand. Other supported sensor sizes. The phi in the name represents full-frame lenses. E represents APS-C format lens. Lens model. The cell at the beginning represents Sony E-mount lenses. If itself represents an electric zoom lens. ICLC represents a cinema lens with the same focal length. If the size of the image sensor is different, it will also affect the shooting angle range. Full-frame lenses. The biggest difference between full-frame lenses is different. For example, a 50mm the full-frame lens has an angle of about 47 degrees, while the APS-C lens is about 32 degrees. Focal length. Whether it's the name or model of the lens, if the focal length has only one number, it represents a fixed focus lens. If there are two numbers, it represents a zoom lens with the same shooting distance. The shorter the focal length, the smaller the subject is. Conversely, the longer the focal length, the larger the subject is. The focal length of the lens affects the shooting range. The lens's angle of view refers to the range of the image captured by the lens on the focal plane. It's expressed in degrees. The view angle of a 50mm lens is about 47 degrees, which is close to the human eye's view. It's called standard lens. Generally speaking, lenses with a wider angle are called wide-angle lenses, and narrower than standard lenses are called telephoto lenses. Ultra-wide-angle lenses are also called wide lens. Lenses in this focal length range. The obtained picture has a very wide viewing angle, similar to the fisheye effect. Long-range lenses are mainly used for travel, landscape, etc. Ultra-telephoto lenses are mainly used to shoot wildlife, birds, or other subjects that are difficult to approach. Aperture. The aperture in the lens name and model is the maximum aperture value of the lens. The smaller the number, the brighter the picture, and allows for a greater degree of background blur. The brand of lens. The lens name and model also include the lens brand. GM represents size artist lenses. G represents J lens. CA or C represents size lenses. The lens has built-in optical stabilization. If the lens name has OS, means the lens has built-in optical image stabilization. Even if the camera doesn't have image stabilization, it can also correct camera shape. Other symbols. PZ represents the electric zoom function. Macro represents the lens is a macro lens. L represents a lightweight and compact lens. Let's know a lens. For example, this lens, FE 85mm f1.4 GM is the lens name. SEL 85 f14 GM is the lens model. It represents a full-frame 85mm f1.4 for maximum aperture GM prime lens. Lens mount. The electronic contacts here are for communication. Don't touch it. The white dot on the E-mount is the lens mounting mark. It's used to align with the camera lens or the rear cover of the lens. The front of the lens has threads or bayonets for attaching lens caps, diffusers, and other accessories. The red mark is the hood mark. It's used to align the position when installing the hood. The mark Phi77 here represents the lens diameter. When purchasing external filters, such as neutral density filters, you should refer to this value to buy the corresponding size filter. 0.85 meters. It means the minimum focusing distance of the lens is 85 centimeters. 2.79 feet. When focusing from the camera's sensor to the subject, the distance needs to be greater than this distance. Otherwise, the image cannot be focused.